Okay, welcome. Here I am going to discuss about the experiment number 7 in digital signal processing. That is, we have to write the MATLAB program to obtain the circular convolution of the two given sequences. Okay, so before going to the actual program, let us have some example. That is, determine the circular convolution between the two given sequences. The first sequence is x1 of n is equal to 1, 2, 2. And second sequence x2 of n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we have two sequences but with different length. So x1 has a length n1 which is equal to 3 sample. x2 of n has its length n2 is equal to 4 sample. So in order to calculate the circular convolution, we know that in order to calculate n point circular convolution, we must have both the sequences are of same length. If it is not the case, then we have to go with the zero padding. So here I may say I want to plot, or I want to have the circular convolution between these two sequences with length capital N is equal to maximum of n1 comma n2 and it is equal to 4 point. So here we need to pad zeros in first sequence and in second sequence also. But if you consider the length of first sequence, it is only with 3 samples. So 1 0 is get padded after the samples of original x1 of n. So original new signal of x1 of n that I can write 1 2 2 0, and in x2 of n there will be no zero padding, as the length of x2 of n is equal to the length of circular convolution that we are interested in. So no zero padding is required for x2 of n. So we have different methods to determine the circular convolution that we have already studied, that is DFT, IDFT method, then analytical method, matrix method, and the graphical method. So if we consider the DFT, IDFT method of circular convolution, then the circular convolution is given between the two sequences, that is x1 of n and x2 of n, that is equal to x3 of n, and it can be obtained by using the DFT IDFT method. So in this DFT IDFT method, first of all we have to determine the endpoint DFT of the given two sequences x1 of n and x2 of n, and that we can determine by using the matrix method or by using the linear transformation as a matrices for the DFT. So here we have the DFT of first sequence, that is x1 of k, that we can find it from the matrix formulation, and we are having the answer for this is 5 minus 1 minus 2j, 1 minus 1 plus 2j. So this is the DFT of first sequence. In the same way we can calculate the DFT of second sequence, which is observed to be the same as that of the x1 of k, but with the different components. Let us say 10 minus 2 plus 2j minus 2 minus 2 minus 2j. So in step number 1 we need to calculate the DFT of each sequence. Then in second step we have to multiply the DFT of first sequence with the second sequence, that is x1 of k into x2 of k, that is point to point multiplication that we can call, and it gives me the DFT of the sequence that I can call it as a third sequence x3 of k. So once I know the x3 of k, finally I can determine the IDFT of this x3 of k, and we can have the circular convolution between the two sequences x1 of n and x2 of n. So x3 of n is equal to the IDFT of the sequence x3 of k. We have discussed about this IDFT by using matrix in last session. So x3 of n is equal to 1 by 4 is equal to the complex conjugate of the Twiddle factor matrix multiplied by the DFT of the sequence x3. So if we solve this computation, we'll have the circular convolution between the two sequences, and it is with values 15, 12, 9, 14. The same can be solved with the graphical method also. So here we are using the DFT and IDFT method to find out the circular convolution between the two sequences. The same method can be implemented in MATLAB, and we'll verify the result of the circular convolution. Okay, so we have the MATLAB editor, and I have already written the code for finding the circular convolution. So the aim of my experiment is write the program to obtain the circular convolution between the two given sequences, and this is there in the syllabus, that is experiment number 7, digital signal processing of instrumentation and control engineering for third year. So here this is the line number 5 of the MATLAB editor, in which I have written the first command, that is CLC, for clearing the command window, then clear all, clear the figure file. Line number 8 and line number 9, here I may say that I have entered the two sequences because I need to calculate the circular convolution between the two given sequences. So one can enter the first sequence as a x1 and second sequence as a x2 by using the input command, that is the standard syntax of input command in MATLAB. Then next I have to verify, or I have to ensure the length of each sequence. So n1 is the length of my first sequence, that is x1 of n. n2 is the length of my second sequence, that is x2 of n. And here I need to select the maximum value of the n point circular convolution, and that n point circular convolution is equal to maximum of either n1 comma n2. So here I choose the highest or the maximum of n1 and n2. So if it is observed that if capital N is greater than n1, that is the number of samples in the circular convolution is more than the number of samples in the original sequence that we have entered, then we need to pad the zeros. So that zero padding is done with this simple command, that is x1 is equal to the original sequence x1 of n followed by the number of zeros, and that number of zeros is will range from, or the number of zeros will range from 1 to capital N minus n1. So in this case, here I may say capital N is 4 and capital N1 is 3. Then I need to pad 1 0 at the end of the sequence x1 of n. If the length n and n1 is equal, then there is no requirement, or it is not required to pad the zeros. So here I may say that my original signal x1 is equal to the x1, that is new original signal x1 of n is equal to the my entered original signal x1 of n. Here I may use the if, else and end loop. The same is the case for the second sequence, that is if the required n point circular convolution is greater than the number of samples present in the second sequence, then I need to go with the zero padding, and this is done with the simple if, else and end command. Now here I assume that the n1 and n2, these are the two time indexes. One is for sequence x1 and second one is for sequence x2, and here I may say that n1 and n2 is one and same, because here after the sequence x1 and x2 will be treated as the same length sequence. So by using subplot command, one can have the first plot of the sequence x1 of n, second plot of sequence x2 of n. So it is done with the stems, x label, y label, grid on, title, and the most important is the subplot command that we all know. So here up to line number 13 I have just entered the original sequence x1, then second sequence x2, and I have just plotted it by making the length same, that is with the help of zero padding. Now next task is, as per our DFT IDFT method, I need to calculate the DFT of first sequence, obviously the n point DFT. So for that there is a command, that is y1 is equal to FFT of x1 comma n. Similarly y2 of n is equal to FFT of x2 comma n. So here capital N is common in both the cases. So I am having the DFT of first sequence, that is y1, DFT of second sequence, that is y2, and here I can call y3 is the multiplication of y1 into y2. So if this is the multiplication in frequency domain, then this could be the DFT of the circular convolution sequence. So here in line number 35 I can just take the IDFT of the sequence y3, and if we plot that sequence with respect to the small n, that is equal to again 0 to n minus 1, and that result that we have plotted is nothing but the circular convolution. How that we will consider, or we'll have the more details about this code just by running it with command by command. So first of all I will just consider the code up to line number 12, and I will just make the remaining part of the code to be commented one. So if I run this code, it will ask me to first add this code or add this file into the MATLAB compiler. So I will make it by clicking on change folder or change the path. Then in command window it is prompted me that I have to enter the first sequence. So my first sequence is, as we have discussed, it is 1 2 2, so I have entered it. My second sequence is, if we observe the problem statement, it is 1 2 3 4, so I have entered 1 2 2. Next is 1 2 3 4, so 1 2 3 and 4. And if I enter it, it is observed that the length of first sequence, that is x1, is 3, length of second sequence is 4, and the length of required endpoint circular convolution is also 4. So this is nothing but the result of code from line number 8 to line number 12. Now if we observe the command window, it is observed that the length of first sequence is 3 and length of second sequence is 4. So for DF, you may say for circular convolution, we must have both the sequences are of same length. So that is done with the help of zero padding, and in terms of MATLAB I can do that zero padding with if and else loop. So if I execute this, here this first loop, if and else loop, is true as capital N is greater than N1, because capital N is 4 and N1 is 3. So there is a zero padding, and the number of zeros that are padded in the original sequence x1 is 1. So here if I run this code and if I enter the number of samples, that is 1 2 2 and 1 2 3 4, my new sequence, that is x1 of n, will be 1 2 2, and there is a last samples which is 0, and this particular is called as a zero padding in MATLAB. So here I can have the zero padding. Now next is I need to plot this sequence x1 and x2 with respect to the time axis. So I have defined separate time axis for sequence x1 as n1 and sequence x2 as a n2, and if we run this subplot command and stem command, we can have the plot of the original sequence, that is 1 2 2 1 2 3 4. This is the case that I am interested in. Now it is showing that the MATLAB compiler is busy, and once it is getting executed, I may have the graph as shown in figure, and this is equal to the first plot, that is for the first original sequence, that is 1 2 2 0, second sequence 1 2 3 4. So we have entered the two sequences. Now next task is we have to find out the DFT of first sequence. So by using FFT command, DFT of second sequence, that is using again FFT command. So y1 y2 is the DFT of first sequence x1 and second sequence x2. Then I can have the DFT of the first sequence and second sequence, they are multiplied with each other, and I am having the DFT of the circularly convoluted signal. So if I take its IDFT, I may have the circular convolution between the sequence x1 and x2, and it is noted as a y. So it is just plotted with respect to the time, and I have denoted that time axis as a n3, and I have just plotted it as a third figure in the figure file. So if I run this code, I may have the figure as, so my circular convolution is 15 12 9 14, and my first DFT is 10 minus 2.2j minus 2 minus 2 minus 2j, so 5 minus 1 minus 2 1 minus 1 plus 2. So this is about the original sequence and its DFT, and finally I may have the IDFT of the y3, that is the multiplication of y1 and y2, and the figure file is look like this. So first plot is for original sequence, second plot is for second sequence, and third plot is just a circularly convoluted sequence. So I am having the values 15 11 9 and 14. So thank you.